This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by B&B Music and Sound.
They said it couldn't be done. Peyton had already won, but we'd only just begun. Now they're out of the way, and now they're saying again.
Well, you probably remember that song from about a week and a half ago. Bring on Brady from Salisbury's own Beauty for Ashes +1.
Yeah, that song went viral and has nearly 400,000 views on YouTube. And now that the Ravens took on and conquered Tom Brady and the Patriots, they're now looking to the Harbaugh Bowl on Sunday as the Ravens take on the 49ers in the big game.
That's right. So it's only fitting that Matt and Sarah and Stan Robbins join us again this afternoon. You guys have a new parody. I mean, this thing turned around quick, didn't it?
Well, it's a new game, and got to get to work on a new song.
Okay, well.
So tell us about this one. What is it called?
It's called Tonight, Ravens Battle Song. It's parodying the song by the band Fun called Some Nights, which had kind of like a battle. I don't know if you've seen the video. It's kind of like a Civil War theme, and this is more of like a battle song, kind of a rallying cry. It's a little more serious than the Bring on Brady. It's not really calling anyone out, but
well, let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
Beauty for Ashes +1.
Some nights I made excuses for our bad luck. Some nights I cursed the bad calls. Some nights I wish that the media respect us. Sometimes I wish they just turn off. But we suited up, exercised our goals. Oh Lord, we always know what we play for. Go Ravens, go Ravens.
What do we play for tonight? We are all Baltimore. Go Ravens, go Ravens, go. Go, go Ravens, go Ravens, go. This is it, Ravens, this is war. What we've been waiting for, but we can't celebrate already. Flacco's not one to create hype, but he's proven himself right. Works just as hard and his half is light. Their games without a pick and 8 touchdowns. Opens eyes, gonna leave it on the field tonight. We come too close for squandering. Raise last dance, raise last dance, raise last dance. So raise last fight. Well,
Tonight is when all the doubting ends. It's time to prove that our look can change.
and
Tonight is for all our veterans. Tonight they get their win. They get their win.
'cause we suited up,
Exercised our goals. Oh Lord, we always know who we play for.
we are the Ravens, we are the Ravens tonight. We will show you, go Ravens.
So this is it. We persevered for this. Played through injuries for this. We buried family through this.
Ravens.
So when the game starts, we play for art. When we hear the song,
We all stand as one, go Ravens.
Go Ravens.
Go Ravens. This is it, Ravens. Let's play ball. 61 hits and let it drop. Obvious for this, I know. Joe City can understand. Get it done for the folks back home. 'Cause we all believe it's time to show. We are the Ravens. We won't go off quietly into the night. We'll get a ring for Sizzle, for Boldenberg and Reed. 'Cause when you look into the lion's eyes, man, you would believe the most amazing things that we've overcome to get to tonight. Go, go Ravens, go Ravens, go. Go, go Ravens, go Ravens, go. weapon formed against us.
Go Ravens.
No weapon formed against us. So go, go Ravens, go Ravens, go. Go, go Ravens, go Ravens, go.
If you'd like to read more about Beauty for Ashes, go to delmarvalife.com and click on the show tab. We're going to hear more from them in just a few moments, but first, pawn shops have piqued the interest of many people recently thanks to reality television, but they're more than just entertainment. They're an alternative place to shop. Crazy Louie's Pawn Shop in Salisbury may be just what you're looking for.
Pawn shops exist in pretty much every community. You've probably been inside or driven by one at some point.
30 years ago, you know, going to a pawn shop was kind of a scary place versus now people realize it's not really that scary at all.
Steve Kottman is the general manager of Crazy Louie's Pawn Shop in Salisbury. He says there are some misconceptions when it comes to the way a pawn shop works.
A lot of people think that pawn means that you're going to sell your item versus some other people think that pawn means you're actually going to get a loan. And so we try to just steer clear from that word entirely and just say, hey, do you want to come back for it or do you want to get rid of it?
Would you give me for that?
All right, let's see.
If you choose to get rid of it, cash changes hands and you walk out the door. But if you're looking for a loan, the process works a little differently.
Now when you do that, what we're going to do is we're going to give you a little bit less money probably, but we're going to put it in the back room for 30 days. And then you can come back at any point during those 30 days and pick up your item if you want. Don't come back for it, then that's fine. We'll just put it out for sale and give up on you a little bit.
Browsing through Crazy Louie's, you will find just about everything from DVDs to power tools, furniture to electronics, musical instruments to jewelry. Think what you have sitting around isn't worth anything? Steve says they look at pretty much anything that comes through the door.
We'll mess with almost anything. If it's an antique, if it's something different, if it's a rare baseball card, if it's you know, a collectible, if it's something just weird and different.
The day we were there, a customer came in with this old camera. After doing some research, the folks at Crazy Louie's were able to pinpoint it as a 1950s Rolleiflex camera made in Germany. And with that information, the owner decided to hold on to it. And with shows like Pawn Stars, Steve says he has seen a renewed interest in pawn stores.
When the show first came out, you know, we'd keep telling people, yeah, we've seen one of those. Because literally for those first couple of seasons, at least one thing in those episodes is something we'd seen.
So you said you see all kinds of things that come into the store. Some are weirder than others. You've assembled some of them here. Explain to us what they are.
Sure, and we've got, you know, an antique bubble-blowing Popeye here. Again, the tin, the metal toys, we mess with those if we got something like that. You know, we've got a World War II French pistol. We see a lot more of World War II items now that generation is kind of passing. We're very familiar with those, as well as inexpensive watch. Again, there are name brands out there that some people might not know. We know all the expensive name brands. We can definitely help you out with those kind of items.
And there's a lot more where all these came from.
Absolutely there is.
And whether you're going to bring stuff in to sell or to get a loan, Steve has some simple advice.
It's shocking how different an item looks with Windex and a paper towel. Don't be afraid to clean your items before you try to sell them. You know, simple things like that. Don't be, you know, remember the remote. If you're coming to bring us a TV set, the remote's always going to give you more money. Make sure you bring the remote with you. You know, simple things like that as far as making sure things work.
The state of Maryland has measures in place where anything that comes into a pawn shop is now filed into a computer database.
When somebody brings something to us, you know, we're getting a photocopy of their ID, we're entering in all their information, their name, their address, their phone number, their social security number.
On the opposite end of all of this, some people go to pawn shops to simply shop, like Jerome Fitchett of Federalsburg. When we caught up with him, he was buying an Xbox.
The price difference is way, you save a whole lot of money.
So we've all heard the term cash for gold, but there's a big misconception.
Well, and people remember that last year it hit that record high, and certainly it's been going down since then. And it's one of those things where if you have some extra broken pieces, some stuff you don't care about, your silver dollars, it now really is the best time to get rid of it because the price is going down, and you don't want to wait till next year when it's going to be worth less.
Steve says when you do go into a pawn shop, make sure it's reputable and a place you trust. Because at the end of the day, it's all about finding or making a deal.
And I think with the economy, people are a lot more price conscious. They want to save a buck where they can, and I think there's a lot less of a stigma now with used merchandise.
Crazy Louie's has 2 locations in Salisbury, one on South Boulevard, the other is right on Route 13 in the northern part of the city.